thanks for tuning in for another episode of RV Business on the Road. I am in St. Cloud, Minnesota, where I am at Pleasureland RV, and I will be interviewing Dan Pearson. So let's go inside and have a chat. Hi, and thanks for joining us for another episode here of RV Business on the Road. I'm here with Dan Pearson at Pleasureland RV.
Good morning, Niki. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
Doing super.
Great. Thanks so much for doing this and having the opportunity to actually visit your store and chat with you today. So thank you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. So one thing I know you guys are celebrating your 50 years, right, in business.
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a heck of a tribute to an incredible staff.
You must be proud. It's great.
Oh, I'll tell you what. We're one of the finest teams we've put together from down to top. We just got a fantastic crew and just really, really proud of the team.
Aww.
They've helped us build this thing for 50 years. Mom and Dad started this. Wish they could be here to see it today and that, but yeah, it's a heck of a team.
What's your longest employee that you've had?
We just had the longest one retire non-family at 44 years.
Wow.
We have several that are knocking on the door of 40 years right now. So we've got a lot of longevity and a lot of depth, and that's really, really huge. And especially a very young team in a lot of respects that have got a lot of years with the company, but are still very young. So we're not going to lose all these people in the next 5 or 10 years in retirements or whatever. I think that's a really big deal. But combined experience of our staff, we just did a survey this morning, have got 1,940 years of RV experience within our companies. That's a big number.
It's a really big number.
So we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah, and you should be. I think across the board, that's the one thing that I keep hearing is, keeping staff, right? It's finding reliable and good talent and people that want to stick around. So I kudos to you and your team.
We still are adding people, so
That's good to know.
Absolutely.
That's good.
We may have to hire you.
After my adventures, we'll chat.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Sounds good.
So you have 7 stores in total, right? And one
Correct.
surplus store.
Correct.
Is this location here in St. Cloud? Is that the first?
This is the original.
The original, okay.
We were in another location. We moved out to the interstate early 2000s. But this is the original store.
Okay.
And we have locations. Most of them are a 60-mile radius, except for Sioux Falls, which is obviously a further distance. But most of them are within about a 60-mile radius of this location.
Okay. What types of units do you sell? What's your specialty here, or what do you like to focus on here?
Well, like everybody else, obviously the travel trailer segment of the business is strongest. We do a real big fifth wheel volume also. But we've been a motorhome dealer for 50 years. And Winnebago, we just celebrated last week with Winnebago. They were up here and celebrated the fact of our company's 50 years together. That's a long time. As like Happy had mentioned, that Winnebago was 67, I believe it is. We would have been with Winnebago 80% of the time they've been in business.
Wow.
So,
what a great partnership.
We got a lot of longevity with a lot of companies. So it's a pretty neat relationship. They're our partners, and we keep it a partnership, and that's a good thing.
Where do you think that we're headed, and I guess where do you want to see it headed in the next 50 years?
Well, I think you'll continue to see us expand regionally. We don't have an interest in having stores spread all over the entire country, but I do see us expanding within our region over the next few years, and continuing really to do what we do. I don't think we're going to change our model in any way and what we sell, because we're everything from tent trailers to motorhomes. Different stores specialize in different things. But I believe we'll continue to keep the model the same. Like I said, I see us doing some further expansion within our region of the country, absolutely.
You have been a long-term member of RVDA, right? So your current role, this is correct, right? You're co-chairman of the Go RVing.
Correct.
Okay, the marketing campaign. So I'm I mean, I use it on social media. I tag it. I'm an RVer now, right? So, can you give some examples of your role with RVDA and how Go RVing helped you, helped the store, helped everything?
Well, we're a 40-plus year member of RVDA. I've been involved personally, in I think almost every role within RVDA for a volunteer role, previous past chairman, all this, and been Go RVing now for, I believe it's about 4 years. Tom Stint held that position for almost 20 years. Go RVing has been really, really fun to be a part of. We've watched its transformation, going so much more digital this last year, changing agencies that represent it, redoing the entire Facebook pages. It's a dynamic group. Couldn't be more proud of that team and the direction they're going and the enthusiasm they have. Probably the best thing I'm seeing right now is, and it's been the last couple of years, is Go RVing getting a little bit out of just the RV box. And what I mean by that is we're extending our reach past the typical RVer.
Okay.
I think, for instance, a lot of the van people.
Yeah.
I don't think they think they're an RVer. But what they're doing with the van is it's their base for a kayaking trip, hiking trip, whatever it may be. Some of the tent trailers or teardrops, they're very small. They're simply a tent sleeping space. I don't know if they call themselves RVers, if you ask them by definition, but they become part of the family.
I love that. So I guess, when have you seen a shift in that? Because I'm new to the industry. I've seen Go RVing. I've used it. I see other people doing it as well. So it's an interesting take. When have you, I guess, started that shift in terms of?
I think they've been really working on that in some of the vehicles, really probably the last 5 years.
Okay.
But I think it's really been a focus of the Go RV team, probably the last 3 years, are probably doing, I'm not going to say a better job at going after them. I think they're just expanding that base,
right,
and really going after that buyer. And I think it's so important.
Yeah.
It really is, because so often we're simply providing the sleeping, cooking, bathroom, base camp for what their real adventure is. So being a part of Go RVing has been just really, really fun. Obviously, the explosive growth in the industry has been fun to watch, but what that team does day in and day out, pretty remarkable.
So can you provide a little more insight into the leadership team? You have all 7 locations, right?
Correct.
What have you done to make your fixed ops more efficient?
To be really honest with you, I don't say I can tell you that we're making it more efficient, except more of holding the line.
Okay.
When you have breakneck speeds of growth that we're in right now,
right,
the worst thing that can happen is shortcutting and deviating. That's where the wheels start going off the bus real fast. So it's probably more of a case of making sure the policies are being followed that have been in place,
okay,
of the way we operate, and that it, new and innovative. I can't tell you that I've done anything the last year and a half in that respect. It's making sure the wheels stay on, because this is really an easy time to shortcut, to bypass policy, and like I said, that's where the wheels come off the bus every time. So our focus really is keeping everybody focused on our processes and the way we operate, and not shortcutting that, because all that does is either make it tougher for the next person in the dealership or make a good experience not go so good with the consumer. But this is time for us to keep working really hard on the React part of the world. That's so critical, and do it in the good times, not just in the bad times.
Repair event cycle time has been a priority of much of the industry for the past couple of years. Do you think this effort has been successful?
To date, yes. And that's kind of what I was just referring to. Because we've got information for that program out of our dealership for probably the last 3 years into it. Yeah, as part of, we're not part of that committee that's working on it, but taking our stats there. And again, I think they're doing a great job. We still have more to go. We're not there yet. It's not a completed project, and they don't believe that either. They're all working at it, but this is the time to keep working hard.
Okay.
You know, it's, again, business is really incredibly good, but we want to keep it going good.
Yep.
And that's going to be a huge part of it.
So more to come.
More to come.
Okay, so this one is a big one for me, personally. So a customer buys a unit rig from you. Obviously you have your 7 stores, but what happens for, if they're traveling around, they need service somewhere else in the country. What do you do to guide those customers to get service work done?
Part of, and one of the reasons that we're part of the Priority RV network of dealers.
Okay.
Because every one of us make a commitment that if the other person's customer is on the road and have a problem, we will do everything we can to service that customer. So there's several priority dealers within one state. So wherever you go, literally in the United States, there's a priority RV dealer. So that is, we lean on each other. I mean, our customers are traveling to the South Country in the winter. Their customers coming north in the summer. So, we are all in the same position. So being part of the Priority RV network of dealers, there's a lot of other reasons to be part of that, but that's a big part of it, is that each customer gets the information and the number to call, and so it's a big deal.
So is that a selling point for you to the consumer? So let's say, I was looking at 2 different rigs. I found one here and a different store that wasn't a part of that network. Is that something like a selling point that you use?
Absolutely. Absolutely we use it. And they better be using it.
So you have been a RVBusiness Top 50 dealer, including a special award in 2019. I'm not sure what that award is. What was the award in 2019?
It was the Arthur Decio Humanitarian Award, which is beyond cool. And it's such a tribute to the team here. We really encourage community involvement. This team has done some really neat things. First of all, to associate our company name with our Decio's name is a big deal. Big deal. Second of all, to be able to bring that back with our team and be recognized by the industry for their efforts, I think it's just huge. They're in the middle of organizing a fundraiser right now for a golf tournament this summer again, involved in a couple other things so we really encourage our teams to our company does, and encourage our teams to participate in so many different things. It's been a good corporate citizen, and that was a big deal. Being a top 50 dealer each year is also a big deal for us. It's an honor.